What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Edgework here on the Hammer Betting Network. I'm Jason here, filling in for Zach, who is unfortunately a little bit under the weather, but don't worry, we got the same layout for this show for you. Just filling in as host. And as always, I'm alongside Alex B. Smith and So Many Sports. Guys, it's been kind of crazy since we were last here on Edgework, covering the Vegas and Dallas series. It was 3-0 going into that game. That's the last time we talked about these two teams. And the sentiment around the series was definitely a lot different, right? With Vegas looking to potentially secure the sweep and meet Florida in the finals. But 2 games in 2 days can change a lot, guys. We're sitting here now 3-2 in the series. Dallas seems to have a little bit more life than earlier on in the series. So, guys, it's been a crazy series. What are your thoughts on the series so far? I'll ask Alex first, who's wearing the Stars.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it seemed like this series is going to be wrapped up in 4. Obviously the Jamie Benn suspension and what led to that, just the incidents, obviously that just dirty play, and then him neglecting to talk to the media soon after. Then the next day, of course, he gets a suspension, and then he gives this kind of half-assed reason for why he did it, and it was just such a bad look. And you just felt like, okay, everything was just falling apart for the Stars, but they were able to somehow rally, win these last 2 games, and now here we are, back with a series, and Dallas trying to make some history.
Yeah, and it's going to be big, right? With Jamie Benn coming back now for this game here, we kind of thought that he probably wouldn't appear again, and might be his last game playing with Ryan Suter there on the Dallas Stars. But nope, he's back. He'll be back tonight. We assume so. But yeah, So Many, what are your thoughts so far on the series?
This is why we love hockey. I mean, we thought that we thought that Dallas was done after Game 3, as you mentioned, and I mean, you got to give credit to them, right? Like they kept playing their games. They kept chipping away, and they finally won an overtime game, and they played well in Game 5. Probably should have. It probably wasn't a 1-goal game or a 2-goal game there. I thought that Dallas played well enough to really take over that game more. But I mean, here we are, and we're back in Game 6, and this is why we love it. This is why we have to embrace this variance.
Yeah, and So Many, I was watching some previous shows of Edgework, and you mentioned how like people can't be focused too much on these advanced stats in one game because how teams play when they go up, it's very different, right? Like you said, it was only a 1-goal game, but you got to imagine Dallas shelled up there towards the end and probably could have scored a few more if it was a regular season game. But obviously in the playoffs, doesn't matter how many goals you win by. You just got to get that W and move on to the next game. So before we get into the picks today, guys, I want to talk about a couple things. We'll touch on the Jamie Benn thing in a second, but we know who the Western Conference team that ends up winning is going to face. They're going to be playing the Florida Panthers, the dark horse, the unicorn team of the playoffs, I guess. And I'm just curious what you guys' thoughts are on how each team's kind of match up. Just quick thoughts here. I know we'll have a preview coming out either in 3 or 5 days, depending on the outcome of this game and the next game, if there is a next game. But yeah, So Many, I'll throw it to you first. What are your thoughts on how Dallas and Vegas match up against Florida?
I think for Florida, they match up better against Dallas than they do against Vegas. Reason being, we know that Dallas wants to create on the rush, right? We know that Dallas wants to get up and down. I think Florida is better equipped to kind of handle that, and we saw that against Toronto as well, another team that likes to generate on the rush. Against Vegas is a team that plays very similar to Florida does in the sense that they do want to dump it in, they do want to get their forecheck going, and they do want to create turnovers in the offensive zone. The problem for Florida that I envision in a hypothetical series against Vegas is that Vegas can do it better. They have the edge defensively, and when the other team is forechecking on them and then in their own defensive zone, they do have the defensive guys to get it out quickly and to withstand that pressure. Whereas I don't believe that that Dallas does that as well against Vegas. So if I'm Florida, I would want Dallas. But yeah, I think Florida matches up better against Dallas than they do against Vegas.
Okay, fair enough. Alex, you agree with that? You think Florida is Dallas is a better matchup for Florida? Like, if you're Florida, who do you want here?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And it's funny, I was just talking about this at a bar last night, and I think Dallas definitely is the better matchup for Florida. And it's right on point. Vegas can do what Florida does better than Florida. and you don't want to see that. And the fact that they can also kind of slow things down and play that traditional playoff style as well too. Both teams can kind of morph and play different styles, Dallas or Vegas. But I think Vegas can command things a bit more against Florida than Dallas would. But I think it would be a really exciting back and forth series if it's Dallas and Florida. Probably a high scoring series, something we haven't seen from these two teams in really either of the last couple of series. So that would be kind of a change of pace. But I think if Vegas could advance, they would be able to slow things down and kind of wear out that Florida team a little bit more, and probably would end up seeing maybe tend to be a bit more lower scoring of a series.
Were you wearing a Stars jersey at the bar?
No.
No. I always make lines every morning when I'm coming on with Alex. What jerseys that he's going to wear, and I won my bet this morning on the Stars. So
what was it priced
at? The day. Thank you, Alex.
What was it priced at?
Oh, I priced it at -200, and I still
I love that. All right, and it's going to be an interesting series. Whoever moves on to the Western Conference Finals, and I'm just curious to hear your guys' opinion on this because there's a lot of kind of debate on if it's better to be the team like Florida who gets like almost a week rest before they go on to their next series, especially in the Stanley Cup Finals. These things matter. Or would you rather be like a team like Vegas or Dallas, who was only going to have 2 days of rest before they play their first game of the Stanley Cup Finals? Which team would you rather be in this scenario? The team coming out of the East or the team coming out of the West?
I would rather be Vegas and Dallas. Earlier in the series, there's an edge towards the team that has been playing. Rust matters early in the series. Rest matters later in the series. Okay. So if you're Vegas or Dallas, I'd rather be in their position. Keep going. That rust plays and comes into play. But if you can jump on a team early, I think that you can mitigate a lot of the effects of the rest later on in the series. So and it has been proven. It's shown that rust matters early.
All right, Alex, do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, I kind of mapped out what I'm looking for in the first game or two of the series, depending on who advances. If it's Dallas, Florida, I'd probably be looking at betting a draw in game one. If it's Vegas, Florida, I'd be looking to bet Vegas in some capacity. Like I said, that momentum I think could carry over and at least give them that first win. And then game two is where we may start to see Florida wake up, like you said, kind of shake the rust off and get back into things. So that's something that I've kind of been almost kind of game planning in my head a little bit. But like I said, just having those options kind of in line.
Yeah, and as I can't imagine what that's like as a goalie, especially. I know as a player that'd be tough, but as a goalie, like just coming off, like Bobrovsky's been an absolute stud this playoff. It's been amazing to see. But I wonder if that rest, like you said, so many might affect him a little bit more. Maybe he's not as dialed in for that first game. Mind you, he's an absolute pro. He's been an absolute stud in this series, so it might not affect him. But I can't imagine it's helping him right now. I think if he had the choice right now, he'd rather just get into it right away. But obviously, that's not possible with how exciting this Dallas and Vegas series has been going. And we're close to getting into the bets, but before we do, some big news. We assume Jamie Benn is returning to the lineup. We're not going to see a Michael Bunting little debacle here, I don't think.
No.
But what are you guys' thoughts on Jamie Benn returning to the lineup? Alex, let's start with you.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's got to step up in a big way tonight if he's in the lineup, right? He's got to make some kind of amends for what he did in Game 3 and the fact that he's been gone these last two games. And, kind of just perusing at some of the props. I'm seeing, anywhere between -115 to -125 for him to get a point as high as +290 to score a goal. It's something I might think about sprinkling on a little bit. I think he really wants to kind of, shake the negativity off, and that would be huge for him if he can get a goal here. And like I said, just help kind of continue to shift the tide of the momentum toward his team's win.
Yeah. So, Money, what are your thoughts on Jamie Benn here?
Yeah, he gives them big minutes. He gives them power play minutes. Gives them top 6 minutes. I think that the only there's a big decision now that DeBoer has to make here. I mean, like Olofsson and Dellandrea really stepped up the last couple of games. Then DeBoer has his fascination with a Mason Marchment. So I hope he does the right thing and takes out Marchment and keeps the kids in there. But yeah, I mean Ben, it's the minutes allocation, right? He can eat up those big minutes, and also I don't think that he'll be losing his head. So I don't think we have to worry about that tonight or in a potential game 7. And yeah, I think that he's going to be a big addition here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, he's been a great player throughout his entire career. He took a little bit of a dip last 2 years, but this year, man, he's been lights out, like you said, just being like a good vet, like eating those minutes and doing all the right things. And I could easily see him step up in the playoffs here. And some people are asking about Ben, first goal scorer. We'll get to the bets in a minute, but before we do, I want to quickly give a shout out to our sponsors over at Pinnacle Sports. Pinnacle is the world's sharpest sports book and available to bettors in Ontario. Find out what professional bettors have known for decades. Pinnacle is where the best bettors play. You must be 19 plus in Ontario. Please play responsibly, and unfortunately not available in the US. Quick shout out to the US. Happy Memorial Day. I forgot to do that at the beginning of the show. But yeah, if you guys want to sign up to Pinnacle and you haven't already, there's a little QR code down in the bottom right corner. It'll take you to the BetStamp sign up page. Every sign up we get through there helps support the show. So if you guys like what you see here and you guys want to help support us, please sign up to Pinnacle through that link. And if you don't have Pinnacle, what are you doing? Like, I'm looking at the odds board right here, and best number on the board is always Pinnacle for one side at the very least. So yeah, if you want to get the best price, make sure you go with Pinnacle. So all right, guys, let's get into our best bets of the night here. It's a little bit of an interesting board. We got Dallas as the favorite at home. Vegas sitting at plus 118. Is there anything you guys are liking for sides, money, puck line, or total wise? So Money, let's start with you.
Yeah, so I mean, in game 3, at home, Dallas closed a no vig 58.5% at Pinnacle, right? So now you're paying the premium on the home team in game 3 down 0-2. In game 4, they closed 52.3% at no vig at Pinnacle, and now you're paying the premium on the other side with the team down 3-0. You know that the team down 3-0 is going to be deflated a bit. So now we're in game 6, and we're perfectly right in the middle. If you look at the Pinnacle line right now, it's a no vig 55.2%. So we fall right in between the 58 and the 52 between the game 3 and game 4 adjustment. So game 6 on the side, I think that's perfect, right? Like, it should be right in between the two two premiums there. So I've got nothing on the side. I will have a small play on the over. So I'm sorry, there's a small play on the under. The reason I like the under is that we're seeing that as this series has progressed, Dallas is getting better defensively. Of course, as long as Suter's not on the ice, but they are playing much better in terms of getting the puck out on their own back end with more simple plays, as opposed to trying to stretch out the Vegas defense, which through the neutral zone, which you're just not going to do. So I think I think Dallas has made that adjustment. On the other side of it too, Vegas last game, Cassidy mentioned this as well, that they were very loose defensively last game, and I fully expect this team, and they've shown they've shown that they're capable of this to fully tighten it up. And Cassidy said this as well, that they were lucky that game didn't get away from them. So I do think that we'll see a much better defensive effort from Vegas, and we'll see that Dallas continuing to do kind of the adjustments that they've made throughout the series. So it's 5.5, which is why I'm going to keep it a half unit. But I do like the under here.
All right, so we're going to lock in that half unit on the under 5.5 in this game. And yeah, it's been quite a low scoring series so far, at least in the close games. But yeah, like what you said there, Alex, you got anything on sides, totals, and buck line here?
Well, so I've been staying away from the sides because I got a bunch of Dallas futures. Obviously, Dallas won West, Dallas won the series and everything. So side, it's by default Dallas. But for the total, and it's been nice to kind of see this, lower scoring starts. I've been able to kind of pick off and hit some of these overs in game for the different periods. So I had first period over last game. I was able to wait and grab that at a higher plus price. So the best I'm seeing right now pregame is $1.04 at FanDuel for the over 1.5. But I would just say wait a few minutes and wait for that to balloon up to around plus 110, plus 115 and jump in. I think we see some higher scoring early, and then things will taper off in the second period. So you can set up a spot where we can try and grab a full game under at a better price adjusted, or even go with a second period under. So that's the way I've been kind of attacking these last couple of games with Vegas and Dallas.
Nice. And I've always kind of wondered, like, is that kind of your only live strategy, just to attack the sides and totals? And so money, if you have a live strategy as well, if you've been kind of, Alex, have you been doing this throughout the playoffs, or has this only been this series?
Oh, no, throughout the playoffs. And I try to look for, spots for the next team to score, try to anticipate if the team's kind of lagging, maybe, they're slow on the change and maybe they get caught and end up having to take a penalty. Or if I think a team is, on the penalty kill and they can kill the penalty off and have a good chance to score afterward, I try to look for those spots too. So live betting is a huge part of my repertoire during the playoffs, but certainly with this series as well.
Okay, so money, you same with that, or you just kind of lay your chips on the table before the game starts, then just let it go from there?
No, I actually do quite a bit of live betting as well, and I think that Alex touched on a lot of good stuff there too. And I've always said that, like, the live betting lines are based on the algorithm from the sports books, right? So like it's really tough to go head to head against those kind of algorithms. But where you do have the advantage is that there's a lot of things that the algorithm cannot pick up while the game is going on, and that's where you have the edge, where if there's any sort of manual adjustment that needs to be made based on what is going on, I think that is where you as the bettor have the edge when the book needs to make a manual adjustment for things that are happening. So I do quite a bit of live betting as well.
All right, fair enough. Good little feathers in the cap for those in the comment section right here. All right, so we kind of hit the full games. Do you guys like anything else on the board here? Any player props, first period props, or game props? What are you guys looking at? Start with Alex.
Like I said, Jamie Benn to get a point minus $1.15, $1.20. That's not the worst look in the world. I think he could definitely play a big role tonight, and I think that would be something that he would be more than eager to at least like I said, contribute in a positive way this time around. So like I said, goal to at plus 290. That's a decent shot, but I like the point a little bit more, so I'd lay that $1.16.
So yeah, let's lock that in. Minus 116 over at FanDuel. And what was the risk there?
Yeah, it's a full unit.
Full unit. All right, we're gonna go full unit on Jamie Benn over 0.5 points at minus 116 at FanDuel. So money, you like anything else here, player prop wise or game prop wise or anything like that?
No, I'm just gonna be sitting back. I've got Dallas friends, I've got Vegas friends. I just love watching the phone blow up while I'm just like sitting back laughing. So, and there's certain Vegas fans that if this goes to a game 7 or if Dallas wins, I would love to see that meltdown. So I'm just sitting back watching the game here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be doing the same here. It's going to be a lot of fun to see. I mean, if Dallas can pull off this result, if Dallas even brings it to 7, it's going to be it's like not a win, but it's a win for the viewers. Like, let's be honest here. But like as a team, like if Dallas can pull off this reverse sweep, wow, is that a storied little cup run they'd have going in up against Florida here. Like before we get out of here, guys, let's do a quick little. Gonna put you guys on the spot here. Quick little predictions for this game. Don't have to bet on it. Not gonna hold you to it. Just the quick little score prediction, just for some fun. Let's just have some fun here. So money. Let's start with you because you look the most put off by this. I don't put on the spot.
Ooh. All right, let's go 3-2 Vegas.
I like it. Alex, who you?
I'm gonna say 5-3 Dallas. I think we see we see some goals early, and then it kind of slows down in the second period, and then we'll see a couple of goals come in late for Dallas to wrap it up and send it to 7.
I like that. And then I'm going to go with 2-0 Dallas here. I just want to see that game 7. And I think, like so many said earlier on in the show, it's going to probably be a low scoring game. So, yeah, that just about does it for us. But before we go, guys, I want to remind you guys that the easiest way to improve as a sports bettor. It's pretty simple. All you have to do is use BetStamp. All right. So use BetStamp. You'll be able to get multiple sportsbook and always get the best odds. That's the odds screen where you're using. We recommend using this odds comparison tool to become just a better. It's simple, guys. You're going to be paying less money and you're going to be losing less. So if you're not winning, at least you're losing less. BetStamp simply just compares odds across every sportsbook for games, futures, player props. Save time and money by checking out BetStamp before you bet. Download the app today. You can click the link in description or scan that QR code for a link to sign up to a bunch of new sportsbooks. So if you need some new outs, click that link. And it really helps support the show. So every time you guys sign up through that link, helps us out a bit. So appreciate it, guys. So thanks so much for having me on today, guys. I'm so happy. I got to fill in for Zach here. It was pretty fun. Chat was hot looking for Zach, but unfortunately he is sick for those who missed that earlier in the show. So without further ado, let's sign this off. For Alex B. Smith, for So Money, I'm Jason Cooper. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Good luck on your bets today and have a good rest of your day.